Have you ever been stuck in a deal that turned into a lifetime headache? If a Lexus is on your radar for 2026, you need to know what really happens behind the showroom desk. Because the biggest mistakes buyers make aren't obvious, and dealerships count on that. Hi, I'm Jack, and these are the 6 biggest Lexus dealership scams you need to avoid before they turn your luxury purchase into an expensive regret. Scam number 1. Lexus bait and switch and hidden fees. Let's start with one of the oldest tricks in the book, bait and switch pricing. Many Lexus dealerships advertise an aggressively low number to get you in the door. But once you're inside the showroom, the price you saw online quietly vanishes. They advertise a cheap Lexus just to bring buyers into the showroom. But once you arrive, things quietly change. The exact model is suddenly unavailable, already sold, or missing something important. Instead, you are guided toward a more expensive Lexus that feels similar, but costs a lot more than what first caught your attention. And that is only the beginning. As the paperwork starts, the price begins to grow in ways most people do not expect. Extra charges start appearing that were never mentioned online. Some are called documentation fees. Others are labeled as preparation costs, protection packages, or window etching. They sound technical and important, but in reality, they often add hundreds or even thousands without giving real value. If the Lexus looked affordable online, why does the number feel completely different once you sit down at the dealership? Because the trap works on timing and emotion. By the time you are inside, excited and already picturing the car in your life, it becomes harder to push back. Small fees feel harmless, but stacked together they quietly reshape the deal. The smartest move is asking for the full out-the-door price early. That means the real total with every charge included, not just the headline number. Also, when hidden extras appear, they should be questioned and removed. If the price keeps growing without reason, walking away is often the strongest position. Remember, another Lexus dealer will always exist. Scam number 2, Lexus add-ons and dealer extras. Buying a Lexus already feels premium, and once you finally sit down to sign, the dealer often makes it sound like your car still needs a few more important protections before it's really ready for the road. That's where add-ons quietly enter the deal. Dealerships often slide in extras like extended warranties, paint protection, fabric coating, rust proofing, underbody treatment, wheel insurance, and interior sealants. On paper, they sound smart and responsible. In reality, some of them cost more than the problem they claim to prevent. But the problem is how they're presented. Many buyers are led to believe these extras are required, already installed, or necessary to keep the Lexus safe. So the price climbs again. Most people don't realize that many of these services cost far less outside the dealership. Something a Lexus dealer charges thousands for can often be done independently for a fraction of the price. But what's the big difference? It's markup, sometimes spectacular markup. Dealership add-ons usually carry huge profit margins because buyers are already emotionally invested in the car. At that stage, people want to finish the deal, not restart the process. That's when extras feel small compared to the full price, even though they quietly stack up fast. However, you can easily get out of this scam. Basically, add-ons are optional, not mandatory. You are allowed to say no, remove them, or ask for the base price without any extras attached. If a Lexus really needs something, it should be explained clearly, not bundled quietly into paperwork. And the second thing, you can shop for protection separately after buying the car. Warranties, coatings, and insurance plans almost always cost less when you're not sitting inside the dealership pressure bubble. Because the real danger isn't choosing extras. It's paying premium prices for things your Lexus never actually needed in the first place. Scam number 3, Lexus financing tricks. This scam starts after many buyers drive off the lot. Some dealerships focus less on the car price and more on the financing. Instead of giving you the best loan, they shape the numbers to quietly pull more money from you over time. This is called the yo-yo scam. These tricks usually target buyers who walk in without pre-approved financing. When the dealer controls the loan, they control the story. However, when you already signed for your Lexus and took it home, how could the dealership still change the deal later? And this is where it gets even scarier. Because even though the sale looks finished, the money side is still moving behind the scenes. A yo-yo scam works like this. The dealer lets you take your Lexus home before the financing is truly approved. Everything feels complete. Then days later, you get a call saying the bank didn't accept the loan. And suddenly the deal you celebrated feels unfinished. Once you return, suddenly the interest rate is higher. The monthly payment jumps. Or worse, they push you into a longer loan so the price looks smaller but costs much more over time. If you hesitate, they may pressure you by saying you must accept the new terms or bring the car back. That's the yo-yo effect. Inflated rates work in a quieter way. Even when you qualify for a low rate, some dealers add extra points for profit. 2% sounds tiny. On a Lexus loan, it isn't. But don't worry, you can still protect yourself. First, get pre-approved financing before visiting a Lexus dealer. When you already have a loan offer, nobody can rewrite your numbers. Then, never accept a deal that isn't fully finalized in writing. If the financing isn't approved, don't drive off. A Lexus should feel premium on the road, not expensive in the fine print long after you thought the deal was finished. But quick pause. If this video is already saving you money, hit like and subscribe right now, because the next scam flips your deal before you even notice. Scam number 4. Lexus trade-in and negative equity traps. Trading in your old car for a Lexus feels smart. It lowers the price, saves time, and makes the upgrade easier. But this is one of the most abused parts of the dealership process. Instead of giving your car its real value, dealers quietly push the number down. They might focus on tiny flaws, ignore upgrades, or rush the appraisal so you never see what your trade is actually worth. Then comes negative equity. That's when you still owe money on your old car, but it's worth less than the loan. The dealerships don't solve the problems. You don't see it happen, you just feel the higher payment later. And while all this happens, they often use something called the 4-square worksheet. It shows payment, trade value, down payment, and price in separate boxes so your attention jumps around instead of seeing the full cost clearly. But what about the value? Where did it even go? This part most buyers miss. Even when the Lexus price looks fair, the deal can still be bad if your trade-in is quietly doing the damage. So if your monthly payment feels okay, does that really mean you're paying the right total price? And like I said, negative equity makes it worse, because they never clear your old balance and roll it into your Lexus financing. Now you're paying interest on 2 cars at once, even though one is already gone. It feels smooth in the office, but heavy in the long run. Also, the 4-square tactic adds confusion. They adjust one box to distract you while changing another. Your payment looks fine, but the total cost climbs quietly behind the scenes. That's why you should know your trade-in value before walking into a Lexus dealership, and use online tools and get multiple offers. So separate the deals, lock the Lexus price first, and then discuss your trade-in. Just remember, never mix them together at the start. Scam number 5. Lexus misrepresentation and hidden vehicle history. Moving on to the next one, this scam hides behind a Lexus that looks clean and well-maintained. Most dealers downplay past damage, skip details about accidents, or avoid talking about flood exposure, frame repair, or title issues. A Lexus that looks perfect on the outside can hide serious problems underneath. Even paperwork can be selective. Missing maintenance, Long gaps between oil changes or rushed repairs are often brushed off as normal wear. And because the car drives fine during a short test drive, buyers assume everything is healthy. Now, if the car looks perfect, does that mean its past is clean too? The answer is no. A polished exterior can hide electrical damage, rust from water exposure, or structural fixes that reduce long-term safety and resale value. But the dangerous part isn't what you see in the Lexus showroom. It's what you're not being told about the car's life before it reaches the lot. And once paperwork is signed, that hidden history becomes your responsibility. Basically, misrepresentation usually means you pay full Lexus price for a car that isn't truly premium anymore. Flood exposure can damage wiring, accident repairs can weaken frames, and skipped maintenance shortens engine and transmission life. None of that shows up in a quick walk-around. That's why trusting words isn't enough. Always ask for a full vehicle history report. You also need to check for accidents, title changes, mileage gaps, and service records. Then go one step further, like getting an independent inspection, even on a Lexus. A mechanic can spot things a buyer can't, like hidden leaks, electrical issues, or rushed repair work. In the end, Lexus is all about how safely and reliably it will drive tomorrow, next year, and long after the excitement fades. Scam number 6, Lexus dealership cloning and fake listings. And for the last scam, this one doesn't even need a real showroom. Criminals create fake Lexus dealership websites, social media pages, and online ads that look completely legit. They copy real dealer names, real photos, real logos, and even real addresses. To a buyer scrolling online, everything feels professional and safe. They post unbelievable Lexus deals, low mileage, huge discounts, limited stock, and urgent tone. Their goal is simple: make you move fast before you think. Urgency is their favorite sales tactic. Once you click, they respond politely, professionally, and quickly. They act like real sales staff. They send invoices, offer delivery, and even use contracts that look official. Then comes the trap where they ask for a deposit or full payment through wire transfer, crypto, gift cards, or instant bank payment. In these scams, the car doesn't exist at all. However, the scariest part isn't losing money. It's realizing the dealership you trusted was never a dealership in the first place. Dealership cloning works because it feels safe. Of course the website looks real, the ads look polished, and the people sound professional. But real Lexus dealers never rush you into wiring money for a car you haven't inspected. A genuine dealership will always allow in-person visits, identity verification, and proper paperwork before asking for payment. They won't hide behind online-only communication. They won't block video calls. And they won't demand irreversible payments. So, before sending a single dollar, verify the dealer's official website, call the number listed on Lexus's real site, and confirm the location independently. Because when it comes to buying something expensive, one creative mistake can lead to a lifetime regret. So the real deal is this: are you going to repeat the same mistakes, or walk into your Lexus deal knowing exactly what to avoid? Drop your experience in the comments. It might save someone else thousands. Subscribe for more honest, experience-based breakdowns on what holds up, what quietly fails, and which models are truly built to last. Thanks for watching.